Hello, we are back. Welcome to the HPTV podcast, where we talk about all things Harry Potter and especially the Harry Potter television show. It's kind of surreal to me that trailer dropped and then the behind the scenes thing dropped. Like, there's still a lot of Potter going on in the world, as we'll talk about. There's more to talk about than we thought after a brief hiatus waiting for this things to happen. But it's wild that we got that trailer. I need to go rewatch it.
It felt like things started coming out really quickly and then it stopped again.
Which makes sense. I didn't think that there's not going to be that much. There will be another trailer. I don't know if there'll be another behind the scenes thing, but it's weird that they did them back to back so early. I'm so curious the marketing plan for this. Anyway, welcome to HPTV Podcast. Please follow us at HPTVPod on all your socials, and you can email us at hptvpodcast@gmail.com. One of our followers did email us and ask us to put the podcast on iHeart. I have a vendetta against iHeart as far as some things that they produce, but I was like, we're going to go on iHeart because we're just those kind of people. So thank you for tuning in, and we want to be on
people what they want.
Every platform to be accessible. So please give us a follow. Today, we're going to be talking about all the news that we've missed. The season's wrapping. We've got season 2 news on the way. A podcast has been announced. We've been hearing from one of the stars of the film. Yeah, we're starting to get more news, just little tidbits about what's coming. We have some casting rumors. Some items may have been stolen from set. And yeah, there's a lot to go into as HBO is accelerating the production plans. First and foremost, filming is definitely about to wrap. They just shot at Waterloo, which is a big train station here. It's probably the big central London train station I use the most. And it is standing in for King's Cross, which makes sense, just to be able to have more customizable area. And so everyone was there who's going to be there for the kids coming home, I guess. And then other rumors around production, which seem very plausible because we thought they might already be done shooting. So they'll be done in a couple of weeks. But more importantly, the first big thing, HBO officially has renewed Harry Potter for season 2 before season 1 even premieres, which is so common in the streaming area. They want to get a couple seasons under the belt while these kids still look young. It sounds like they're going to start shooting in the fall. Hope that means early fall, late summer. They don't need a break. Let's go. There's going to be a new co-showrunner, because I think we would hear about this often with movies, is they want the sequel production to start right away. So I think they're bringing on a co-showrunner so that each one can kind of head up what's coming in time. So we'll talk about him as well. But first, what did you guys think? Or are there any details you want to point out about this good news? We're going to get at least the first 2 seasons. It's got to really bomb to not get the third, I think.
Well, and somebody likes it, so I think that's good news. Or else,
they've seen an early cut of the pilot for sure, right? So,
yeah. And I'm so curious about the filming schedule. I think we all kind of assumed that it was kind of being done more like a movie, in that you have obviously scenes in the Great Hall where there's a ton of extras and kids, and I'm sure there was some element of that, but they definitely must be shooting in some way episode by episode. That they're now shooting the last episode. And we've seen people around and that happening at Waterloo. But it's good to know they're moving on, and that 1 and 2 will be so close to like the kids aging. There might be a big jump. If they're
going into production in fall, I mean, why not then be able to get the season out by the next spring? So we could literally get 2 seasons in 2 years. I think they've really got to rush these first 4. Once the kids are 15, I think you can fudge a little bit more. But if they can really knock out the first few, and look, there's been jokes about John Lithgow shooting ahead and all that, and maybe there's some tidbits they're shooting for later, which would be very clever if they shot flashback stuff now that'll be relevant later. But I think, you really have to get they're already looking too old.
Lox. Mitchell done.
I know. Oh gosh, Lox. So Lox has
Dudley.
A big show right now. Yeah, Dudley looks older. We'll talk about Lox in just a minute, but he has a show he's doing press for, which is why he's talking Lord of the Flies, which was on BBC I think it started a few weeks ago. It might be over, and now it's just dropped on Netflix. And so he's a big part of that. And it's interesting, just how much he already looks a little bit older.
Kids need to slow down. Well, I was going to say season 2, I don't think the news was all that shocking, but it came on the heels of, I think that was part of maybe the strategy of releasing the trailer, and then the behind the scenes video was, I think they were testing out how big the audience was, right? Like how much it would drum up interest and stuff. And so that's like the most watched HBO trailer like of all time or something at this point, I read. And so like tons of people want to go see it. Tons of people watch the documentary. And so it just solidified for them that they are that season 2 is definitely going to happen. They have the audience, and they're going to have enough people watching it that's going to be worth it. So that's comforting. I think we always knew that, but I think maybe now they feel more comfortable with it, and they also just had to get ahead of it as they start pre-production, and then and with shooting coming up here not too long, that it was going to leak out anyway.
The faster, the better. Reading from the BBC article, the writer John Brown is going to be not taking over. He's going to be kind of come in as another co-showrunner so that they can overlap production and promotion, really, because this will be filming when the kids are also promoting season 1. And so the plan is still to do all 7 books over the course of a decade. If that stretches to 12 years, I won't be offended. I think if it gets any beyond that, it'll be tricky. He also worked on Succession. We know there's a lot of Succession blood in this writer's room. And we know like Mark Millard, who is directing, has also been kind of a bigger creative force within this. But interesting that I think he also worked on Succession a lot. He is not kind of coming to take more of a full-time role. But yeah, it seems like we're full on. There's no other official news. But, it's good to hear. It's good to hear it's true, for sure.
Did you guys hear about the filming at Waterloo? A lot of people were saying, like, why are those people there? Like, those cast members? But all the cast members I saw make sense in that final scene. Was there anything I missed there? Did you see one that was out of place?
I was confused initially, but I don't think so. I think it's that I didn't realize what it was at first. I was like, why would, because I think the first reports that came out, it was like just Molly and the twins and Vernon. It's like, but it makes sense now. Everyone's getting picked up. Apparently, whoever's been cast to play Hermione's parents were there as well, which is interesting because we see Harry and Ron? I guess we do see them all get picked up in the book, don't we?
It's like that thing with people. It's like just because something's not directly mentioned doesn't mean it's not obviously happening.
It would make sense.
Vernon is the only one that picks up Harry that first year, right? And so that was
he's
correct.
Like,
and then, of course,
like a boy or something like that, right? It's very small. But yeah, it's one of those things where if they mention certain characters, okay, but there could be others they didn't mention. Like, why wouldn't they be there? Everyone has to be there to pick up all their kids. So I guess it just goes to all the people complaining about this too, right? We have the trailer come out and there's a lot of us who are excited and talking about it and how cool it is. And then you have all these other haters being like, oh my gosh, why are they remaking this? They're going to ruin it. And
don't watch it.
Those people need to go away.
Over people.
Right?
I just shut up. Just kidding. Well, I mean, people are probably saying, shut up, but really, the internet sometimes.
I didn't hear them, so I won't shut up.
Let's move on to Lox Pratt. I probably said a bit too much before, should have saved it, but again, he is doing promo for Lord of the Flies, which is on Netflix worldwide. Unless you're in the UK, it's on the BBC. And there has been questions about him aging fast, but he's now kind of given some statements about differentiating himself from the Tom Felton performance. And I was just curious, what are your guys' takeaways from that? Because I'm anti Draco because I'm glad he becomes a bit more of a 3-dimensional character, but I'm anti him kind of being redeemed. And so I don't want him to be softened. And so I'm just curious what you guys think he could do differently to be more accurate, but again, not be dishonorable to the canon.
I think it's hard. He's an interesting character that we really, like you kind of just said, we didn't really get fleshed out in the films. Like he's very one note, and then there's a abrupt change, which isn't quite earned, but like kind of understandable. Like you get why his character would kind of have like this change of heart towards the end and these realizations as he's growing up. But I think it was jolting. So I wonder, I don't know. I think it sounds like he's going to be more cruel in the show, which is kind of like what we're going for. And maybe a little less, I don't know, maybe less of a stereotype, which no offense to Tom Felton or anything. I think he was told to play it that way. So I'm hoping we get kind of that. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to say. And I just always find it funny. And obviously he's doing press right now and everyone's asking him about it. So he can't help it. But like, it's like the Draco actor is always like given the most stuff about what's going on.
He's kind of a character that because he's that central bully, like, And there was all this fan fiction about like him and Harry, him and Hermione. He's been given this almost outsized role to what he actually played in the books. Like, I like that in 1 through 4, really, he is somewhat of a villain to Harry on the smaller scale. Harry's dealing with him while he's dealing with he's looking to Voldemort above. Oh, that sounds weird. But then Draco does, then of course he gets into the bigger game in book 6, like as the war starts to rage on. I want to read his comments to make sure we're giving it as much context as we can. It says he's putting his own spin on him. He's definitely got more layers. That's what worries me. I'm like, what layers? Okay, I know he had a bad home life, but he's a bad dude, and it's okay for there to be a teenager that is just a jerk. Like, that's realistic. He also said, I think there are 2 different kinds of sadness. This is comparing his Lord of the Flies character Jack, which if you've read Lord of the Flies, not a nice boy, and Draco. He says Draco's loved, but he's got this horrible, crippling family pressure. See, that's what makes me think we're getting a sympathetic look at Draco. Like, oh, the family pressure made me a bully. Like, let him be a bully.
Has to be earned. I know, let him be a bully, but it does have to be earned. The ending, Draco's story has to be earned. So you do need an element of that.
I was thinking about this the other day, though, and Draco, it's really interesting because we don't get a ton on him, so you can kind of imagine his backstory. And like, I think we get to see his dad spoiling him and stuff and buying him crap. But when we talked about Harry being, abused and everything, like the level of neglect, like I don't think Draco is neglected, but I could also see like his dad going off on him at every turn if he did anything to embarrass the family, right? So I think there's this pressure there, but there's not to be too sympathetic, but I think you could play it much more as this kind of like abused boy who that's the behavior he's been taught his whole life. And so when he's finally like out from under his parents' thumbs, he's at school and now he is treating people the way his parents treat him, maybe,
If Cursed Child is to be believed, he ends up being a decent person. But like, Jamie, you had some notes in here. Is he going to be more spoiled, more insecure, more openly cruel? I think Draco was directed such a specific way in Half-Blood Prince that comes off as so insecure and stressed that you start to feel bad for him. And then in the 7th, his family, all you know is that his family loves him. And this is from the book too, his mom asked if he's alive, and that's more important to her than Voldemort winning. Like, she does care for her son, but the cruelty that they act out and instill, I have a hard time thinking that I don't think there was enough development there. There's less of him than he's overrepresented for how much actual text and screen time that there is for him. I think there's too much credit given to what would have made him see the light or be less of a douche. So I'm curious how they're going to layer him. I just asked that it be a proper arc.
If we're seeing him more at home and stuff, that's where we can see the other side of him, I guess. But in general, like, this kid's like basically a racist asshole. He's a little shit.
He's friends with Snape. He has a black
He's not
friend.
Friends with Snape.
No,
he kisses up to Snape because
he's
Snape
a bad
has
person.
power.
And of course, in this world, racism is somewhat replaced with, not liking people who are not magical, not liking people who are not fully human.
I feel like that's who we would compare it to
Absolutely,
in our world.
yes.
He would be that type of person. But maybe since we are apparently, because Lox has already told us, we're seeing Draco at home, maybe that's where we see a different side of it. And I will say in Chamber of Secrets, we do see that interaction between him and his dad is somewhatly cruel to him. He's like, you need to get better grades. A mudblood's doing better than you and all this kind of stuff. And so you do see elements of that in the book. But man, my kid's 11 and 11-year-olds are butts. And they're really putting on a front, and they're getting to that place where they're like, trying to show how their place in the world and how much they know more than you. And that's what we should see from him, because we're seeing him at school in front of peers, not at home.
My kid's 11
But
months.
I think you're right with
the...
they're the worst at 11. No, just wait. Just you wait, Mitchell. But I think, like you said, right, if you're comparing it to like racism or any of the isms, right, like those are learned behaviors, right? So much of that's going to come from his parents. So I think it will be interesting to see his home life, and again how they portray that. Like, is he really just a super loved, spoiled little brat, or is there something more nefarious there? I also think that there could be some interesting arcs when it comes to Lucius and Narcissa, like over the course of the story, right? Because being like, I don't know, like as snooty as they were about everything, I don't think it ever occurred to them that like in a world where Voldemort was in charge, that they wouldn't be at the very top, like they were getting beat on pretty hard in a while. And I think that arguably that's what made them like focus in on their family being what was really important, and all of a sudden valuing Draco more than they did. Anyway, so I just think that there's a lot to flesh out there, and I don't want anything to do with the Hermione, isn't that what they call it? Leave all of that out. None of that crap should be in here.
It is.
But it's
Yeah, sorry.
Hard
it's a
no.
fascinating character to think about.
Yeah, Lucius really is. He's top dog in those. He's big in Wizarding Society, and he's kind of like some sort of a host ringleader for the Death Eaters. Although I think they are all very skeptical of him and are excited when Voldemort bullies him. But
Well,
moving
you like
on,
to watch.
the
Like to watch.
official. There's been we have another rival in the Harry Potter podcasting space. Harry Potter podcast was announced. It'll be on HBO Max. It's going to charm viewers into rewatching the original 8 Harry Potter movies. It's called Harry Potter, the official film podcast. So maybe it's not about the series yet, but clearly this is all about ramping up nostalgia and marketing. And they will, I assume, use a similar idea for the official series. It's going to debut May 19th. Don't watch it. I'm kidding.
We
if
can
you're
get
from
0.
Warner Brothers, call me. Look, they haven't gotten any big guests yet. It looks like some random influencers. The guy who played Zero on Holes.
Who I love. I love Holes. That was weird.
I love him, but what does he have
weird.
to do with Harry Potter? That's what I was confused about.
I think
Why
he's
am I
an influencer now, but
he is an influencer.
they're going to be 60-minute
who's
episodes,
the host?
2
Do you
per
guys know
film.
her from anything?
No, I should look her up. I'm sure she's UK.
I didn't recognize her. Yeah, I mean, maybe she's a radio personality or something in the UK.
Quick sidetrack. Have you guys seen the cast for the UK Celebrity Trader season 2?
Yes.
They have so many real famous people. I mean,
last time was pretty good.
Yeah.
But this, I'm like.
And even like, I know almost the entire cast, and like, I could tell you who's like tier 1, and Americans would know. I could tell you here's more tier 2, but like, it is like, it's really spectacular. Some of the people that are like, yeah, I want to play. It's like Industry is one of the biggest shows on TV. The Last of Us is the biggest show on TV. And the leads from both of those shows are like, yeah, I'm going to go play on this reality show. That just does not feel like it would happen in the US.
Richard E. Grant.
Who's the big one? Michael Sheen. Is it Michael Sheen? I get my Sheens confused.
What's the timing commitment like on this, on Traders?
It's a very fast game. It's like 2.5, 3 weeks. Like they eliminate pretty much daily, and then it comes down to a final 5 where they do it all one day. Steven, now's the time. Don't even watch the American one. Honestly, skip it. Watch the British one.
Just
as soon as I'm able to catch up on the new audiobooks, then I will get into Traders. That's what I'm going to do with my free time. Priorities.
Are you guys caught up on Survivor season 50?
Yes.
Okay.
I cry.
Steven, what do you have? A life? 6 kids?
Come for this crap.
Okay.
4 kids.
It's not crap.
That is like the one thing I'm making time for these days. Like I get up on Thursdays to be able, and look, I've been off the last 2 Thursdays, but to watch it. But otherwise, I'm not watching that much solo stuff. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to Harry Potter. Back to Harry Potter. So this podcast, 16 episodes, each one will be an hour, 2 per movie. It's in celebration of the 25th anniversary of the first film. They're also doing this celebration at the studio tour. And so they did a little thing where some of the Weasleys, I think Ginny, the twins, and Arthur showed up, and they surprised some fans, and they did like a Q&A and a photo shoot. I'm sure there's more social content coming from it. You can see it on all the official accounts, but this 25th anniversary leading into the show has kind of worked out very well from them. But yeah, so this is British film critic and broadcaster Rhianna Dillon hosts Harry Potter, the official film podcast. And they're going to do high-level film recaps with in-depth discussions of the moments that matter. And there'll be some behind-the-scenes special guests. So it's very interesting. It's produced by HBO Max in partnership with Pod People. I've not heard of Pod People. Probably should, because I do work for a British podcasting company. Anyway.
But didn't you find it weird that they didn't, like, there was not a single actor? I mean,
like, you know, the twins are up for anything like that. Or
well, that's the thing, they show up in this promo,
Jenny,
but not
Bonnie, right?
There must be, those will be some of the surprises along the way. But yeah, it was surprising.
It was kind of weird. It was not what I thought. I thought they would probably get someone from the films to host.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure this lady has credentials and had a very good voice. But I just thought it was weird. I was like, could they not get anyone? Or are they holding back as a surprise? I
You
don't
got to
know.
think maybe this is
Well,
also a test run where they're going to see how this goes, and then maybe they'll try and get someone bigger. They'll shell out because it's expensive to produce these days. Maybe
Yes.
they'll get someone else for the TV show.
yeah, I had the same thought. It could just be, I mean, 16 episodes isn't a ton. It could be enough just to get everybody warmed up to test the waters and see how interested people would be. And then they can flesh out something bigger and better for the show.
Yeah, it looks like she's just like
I
one of the big
wanted,
film critics for the BBC. That's very interesting. Sorry, go on, Steve.
there you go. Well, no, I mean, if we're done with the podcast. I was really interested by this article, the story that people have been stealing props from the set already, and I want to know how I get my hand on those. Have any of those popped up on eBay? Like all kinds of stuff has disappeared. So
Well,
broomsticks, magic wands.
They're chipping them now, right? In Concern.
Yeah, they're putting microchips not just in dogs and cats anymore, but on props for Harry Potter series so that people can't steal it, which is just, it's nuts.
Now this
It's
is
kind
from
of
the Daily
cool.
Mail,
It's almost
but
like magic.
it's too fetched to be far fetched. You know what I'm saying?
So
Is-
That's
fetch.
a new one.
So
So
that a-
fetch.
It's like how, it's being stitious, but not superstitious. Anyway, I don't know where the word far-fetched comes from, but I just...
whelmed, but not overwhelmed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny that they posted this and they're like, the Sun said, and then there's 50,000 ads, and then they just fill it in with fake information to help it look longer than it is. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah,
Also-
Journalism
nothing
struggling.
article.
I also wonder, in general, I feel like this stuff probably just kind of happens. Like, remember a little while back, there was rumors about kids like fighting and bullying on set. I'm like, that probably happens when you have a lot of kids around no matter what. It's like they just have nothing else to talk about. So I don't know. But if it's that bad, it's like you'd think they'd have better protocol with all this stuff, but who knows?
Yeah.
I think the
It's the
posters they
twins.
made are really cool. They got a poster with a broom on it and a little chip, and it says props on this production have been microchipped. I think it's very cool.
I do think like Harry should get to steal a wand. I guess they all talk about that now, don't they? But give some stuff
they talk
away.
about that, right? On Friends, in the final season, everyone kind of stole their favorite prop and took it home, and they've had it ever since. Like,
Yeah, but you
Surprise
to the
or
they
end.
always
about
auction them off for charity and stuff. Maybe they'll do
What if it's shitty? They don't even know yet.
something. It's true.
Steven, what was this
That
one
was a
about? You had-
prototype broom. It doesn't even fly.
Another thing Lox said was just that he was pleased with the trailer and how it didn't give too much away. And I was like, you know what? You're probably right, but it was a long trailer. It brought me so much joy. Steven, what was this one about? That the 156% book interest increase.
So I was reading it. It's a little more than just the books. It is really just like searches, and you got your Google searches. You have the interactions with the Harry Potter material has increased by 156%. So that's more than double the amount that it used to have, which is, I mean, exactly what we suspected all along, right? They're reducing the merch. They're reducing or producing these behind the scenes videos and everything, and it's getting everybody nostalgic and thinking about it all again. So it's cool. I don't know what the number was before. Like, I don't know at what point in time they're saying like, hey, this is what
Yeah.
it bottomed out, and now we're 156%. Because I feel like it's been surging the last few years, but I'm a little biased, so maybe I'm noticing things others aren't, or my algorithm just feeds me things it doesn't feed other people. But it is cool to see it growing in popularity and increasing the chances that we get all 7 seasons.
Well, and I feel like a lot of people are like rushing to do like a reread, or they're reading to their kids before it comes out. Now that we know it's coming out on Christmas.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So close and yet so
Um,
far.
Last bit here. There's no rumor of Andy Serkis being Voldemort, but Andy Serkis said that he would like to be Voldemort, and I think that would be incredible. I mean, if we're gonna get a big name actor, let's do it.
Well, the cool part is when you're Andy Serkis and you can just put that out into ether, it may actually turn into something. So go for it, man. I would be down with that. I think
He
there's a lot of
is-
people who could do it really well.
Busy right now directing a full-scale Lord of the Rings film, The Hunt for Gollum. But come on, he's barely in the first
Yeah, he's not even
3?
in the first-
Yeah, he doesn't show up until 4. Guy's
Just
got
sits on
time.
the
He's got to
back
do
of
like
Quirrell
He's
Cat.
at
days on set
the
for
very
the
end of
first
4.
movie.
You could say he's in 1. They could use a full Voldemort at the end of 1 if they wanted.
That's like a day or two of shooting max, though. He can step
But
away
even
from
if it wasn't, like, they don't actually need him, like, they just need his voice, because they would probably have to, I mean, they have to computerize the crap out of that to be on back of someone's head.
He
Yeah, or
said
just
he'd be
scan his
willing
face
to
a
cut
little
off his nose.
What the hell? Well, let's not go that far.
He's
You sure
said-
this isn't AI in this article?
He said, "I'm just
They
waiting for
talk.
the call." Basically, that's a cool one. Mind you, Ralph's got big boot. I think, yeah, Rafe Fiennes. He's got big boots to fill. It's just a friendly chat, but I mean, that's a great. If you don't have anyone, you're going for a no name, and Andy Serkis is willing to do it. I think so. If you don't know who Andy Serkis is, he's probably most famous for playing Gollum, but he is also a fantastic director. He directed one of those reboots of the Fantastic Apes, the Planet of the Apes. That's supposed to be really good, and he is in this wonderful 3-episode arc of Andor. He's done so many things. I'm just naming my favorite Andy Serkis things, and I got to see him in a play a couple years ago live, and he is like an incredible performer and director.
Well, he was really famous for a while there for doing like Gollum, like these motion capture characters, which is so interesting because obviously there's the facial expressions and stuff that they copy over the best they can, but there's so much like corporeal about it, where he's like Gollum is the specific type of hunched over character. I think he played the main characters in the Planet of the Apes movies too, right?
I think he was in
I'm pretty sure he
the
played
first couple before he became the director. Yeah, he also plays
Right,
Snoke
and
in
so he did
the
really
Star
well.
Wars sequel trilogy. He directed himself in Mowgli: Legend of the Jungle. He was in The Adventures of Tintin. Look, he's a talented man.
He's not how
Steven approves, so go for it.
Oh, he's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which but you're right. He doesn't look like you'd think for Voldermort, but once you shave his head and whatnot, who knows?
He's a really good actor, so I'd rather have that other than someone. And I think really, if a big name person mentioned that they were willing to do it, I think they'd grab him.
I mean, as long as they don't cast someone black, I'm fine.
It would be hard if the two
I'm
we might need to cut that out.
People would make it fun.
But
you're
if
right.
The two main villains were black. That seems
that's
like,
not good.
That would be a pretty.
Let's turn a good. I know that Snape's not a villain, but he is a villain. Let's make a good person black, okay?
They announced Lucius, and he just happens to be black, even though Draco's white.
We adopted Draco.
Like those movies. Remember that Cinderella they made where it was Brandy, and then she had like an Asian dad.
Yeah, her
and
parents were Asian.
Latina mom or something.
Best Cinderella, hands down. I made my daughter watch that so many times. Whitney Houston's a fairy god. Are you kidding me? It's the best one.
I haven't seen it since it came out,
that's
probably.
fine.
But now I might have to find it.
But that's like an artistic interpretation. Do that, but let's not make all the bad guys. Well, like my idea originally is like maybe if they made Sirius black, it could kind of even out because that's James' best friend. And then I'm like, wait, the whole black family is considered evil. That also wouldn't work. We gotta.
And their name is
that
Black,
is true.
so that really gets problematic. Where it's like, oh, the blacks are bad, and you mean it in like multiple levels, like all those blacks.
Lupin's a werewolf.
Can't do that.
Peter Pettigrew's a bad person. I was just finishing out the Marauders. Yeah, who's a good person that comes in later in the books? That's a big character that could be black.
Tonks.
Moody.
Tonks, Moody. Although, yeah, and then.
But I really want James McAvoy.
I do too. I hope that works out.
Wow. Whew. Well, hopefully we get some casting news soon. But you're right. They could hold off on casting Voldemort really if they wanted to for 3 more years. I think they'd want to at least know who it is and get in their calendar. But hey, I know a guy named Andy Serkis. Sign him up.
He's available. Ish.
The last thing that we are not qualified yet to talk about is that these full cast audiobooks keep coming. And of course, as the books get longer, it gets really hard to keep up with when you have a life. And we were discussing this. I listen to a lot of things at 2 speed because of all the effects and because I want to experience it as it's supposed to be experienced. I'm trying to keep it at normal speed, maybe 1.2. But so next episode, we're going to do a little review. Each of us is going to get assigned a book, and we're going to have a specific chapter or set of chapters, like an important moment, and then maybe an important character. So we haven't gone in depth on some big actors that were brought in to play some of these characters. When it got announced, we said this has come out of nowhere, and now they've come, and we're like, I can't believe they're coming out so fast, and now they're all almost out. In fact, by next week, I think Deathly Hallows will be out, which will probably be even sooner from when this publishes. So it's kind of wild. But yeah, so we're going to give a nice glimpse that'll be kind of a review, but not comprehensive because ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, and, we can also talk a little about who we think will be cast in the chamber. I mean, the new chamber people, which I think is just Lockhart, Lucius, or we already have a Lucius.
We already have
right?
a Lucius, don't we?
And then
Yeah, we're
Arthur.
already seeing
So there
Lucius.
is this, maybe I made this up in my head or dreamed it, or it was just a quick not true thing, that some people are saying that Simon Pegg is going to play Arthur? Or is that just a rumor I heard on TikTok that's not at all true?
I think it is a rumor. I think it's legitimately a rumor. It definitely hasn't been announced. But according to multiple online sources, Simon Pegg has emerged as a leading candidate. So we've also heard that Jon Snow might be a real candidate for Lockhart.
Jon Snow. Which is weird to me. He does not look like Lockhart to me. He does great in the audiobook. I love him.
Dye his hair or something? That's,
He's a great Jon
doesn't really
Snow.
work as a blonde. Yes.
Kit Harington.
Whatever happened to that? Weren't they going to do a spin-off Game of Thrones series about him being back at the wall and stuff?
Yeah, it got axed.
Did they can that one?
Yeah.
Because he had said, I'm never going to do it again. And then they had an idea that he was liked, and then HBO kind of shot it down. But rumor has it it's still like a long-term possibility, but they might want to rope in Arya just to give it a another level of like intrigue, more of the Stark stuff after. Although if I'm going to see Arya, I want to see what crazy stuff she's getting to adventuring around the world, not coming back to the cold north. But maybe that's an A plot, B plot thing that can later intersect or something. Anyway, I would be here for it. Yeah,
maybe it's warmed up.
He's done all right. He's been consistently getting work. Maisie Williams, I haven't seen very much. I know she's been in a few things, but
isn't she in Practical Magic too, or am I making that up?
But Jamie, I'd be lying if I said I kept up with Practical Magic too. These legacy sequels are starting to lose me. Well, that's not important to me like it was important to you.
This
but
is exciting.
What I thought I'd be excited about that I'm going to wait until it's on streaming? The Devil Wears Prada 2.
I know. You know what's actually making me not want to see it? The press with the full cast together. They're just rubbing me the wrong way.
Yeah, they're really going for it. Well, and I've heard anything from people are pleasantly surprised that it's not bad too. Oh, it's pretty good.
But Practical Magic
is not bad.
Has a very special place in my heart. So I'm very excited for that one.
I mean, I'd like to see both of them. I don't know if I'd pay theater prices to see either, but I am curious to watch both. I'm not keeping up with the news though, or who's in them, so I'm sorry I can't help with that piece. I was going to list off though some of the new characters that are showing up in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets that I haven't seen before. So of course you have Lockhart, who we talked about. You have Dobby, of course. Lucius Malfoy, but for the series, we're going to have in the first one. Moaning Myrtle, Colin Creevey, Aragog.
Yeah.
Tom Riddle.
I'm like
Cornelius Fudge. And
Fudge has been cast though.
Fudge is going to be in the first season.
That's true. Madame Pomfrey and then Ginny Weasley. So they have all been cast, I believe.
Yeah,
Pomfrey and Ginny also.
But Ginny's technically in one.
There's some cool ones to see.
Yeah,
she's mentioned.
Yeah. Well, now she is.
It's interesting because none of those characters are like ripe for a known casting. Like Moaning Myrtle was 30 last time, but hopefully they cast age appropriately.
But Moaning Myrtle could be someone who was fun, who's just in and out, like. Because
the woman who plays Moaning Myrtle is also in all the Bridget Jones movies, and I'm sure she's in other stuff. But I always see it, and I'm like, "You're Moaning Myrtle," and now you're in Bridget Jones. Makes no sense.
I hope Dobby's a little bit cute. This is my hope.
Yeah, I wonder how different they'll make him. They could get a good voice actor for Dobby.
Goofy with that.
I could play Dobby. I'm going to start making some calls.
Yeah, I'm available, guys.
Andy Serkis would be a great Dobby.
It's in,
maybe he can do both.
Dobby and Gollum are like warped cousins.
Yeah.
Well, it's better than Dobby and Jar Jar Binks because that's where we're standing right now with the movie Dobby. And I would like
poor Jar Jar.
Although Jar Jar, I didn't hate Jar Jar.
No, I never understood.
Even Amelie was watching Star Wars the other day. She goes, Jar Jar Binks sounds like Dobby. I'm like, we need just a little bit, I don't know, a little bit of a more endearing Dobby. I don't like movie Dobby. I was very disappointed when I saw it.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of stuck in my head now.
Definitely not how I imagined him.
It's a little sad. Well,
Oh,
we'll be
no.
back. We're going to be more consistent, recording every other week, even if it's only a couple of us. Join us in a couple weeks where we will be revisiting or visiting the full cast audiobooks, and we will stay up to date on any rumors and or leaks and or fun headlines that are coming out in anything to do with the world of Harry Potter. Also, trailers have been staged in the staging area for the expansion to Wizarding Paris in Epic Universe. So there you go. Little tidbit to end things on. But it's been a blast to be back, to catch up on all these little things, and December cannot come soon enough. I've never been so excited to wake up on Christmas. I don't even need gifts. I just want the show to be 9 out of 10.
And you'll be older.
I can see Mitchell right now saying, I'm not satisfied to that first episode. Oh, I hope you are.
That was one time. I was 5. Anyway,
Very memorable.
Who knows? Who knows what life will be like in December, but we'll be back. Thanks for tuning in. Again, you can follow us at HPTVPod or email us at hptvpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to watch our faces and you're listening to our faces, go to YouTube and check us out. Leave comments, leave likes, leave subscriptions, do all the things that make other people find our things. Tell your friends and your mothers. I love mothers.
Oh, happy Mother's Day almost in America.
Almost mother. Well,
yeah.
Well,
ours was
Mother's Day, Jamie.
My wife expects me to celebrate both, so it's getting expensive being a dual citizen.
It really does. You got to do Valentine's Day twice. You got to do Mother's Day
Does
twice.
Brazil have a different Valentine's Day?
Yeah, they have a different Valentine's Day.
Oh,
And they
that's
actually have
another
a
thing.
different Valentine's Day, a different Father's Day, but Mother's Day is the same for some reason. So
Father's Day is the same.
only
here.
one Mother's Day.
Don't know. Jamie, good job
isn't
marrying
it?
an American
Weird.
citizen.
Makes life so much easier.
But thanks again for joining us. And Jamie, send us out.
Peace out, snitches.